Hello there, hello there, hello there to the YouTubes and the Twitches. Forgot to put my fucking lamp on again. That's very annoying. Anyway, hello there. How are we all? It's 7 PM in the UK. It's 2 PM on the east coast of Americana land. It's 7 AM in Fiji. So that's hello to the people of Fiji. Hello there. How are you? I'm speaking to you specifically today, just to the people of Fiji. But now I'm back for everyone else as well. How are we all? I am exceptionally well. I thank you for asking. It's been a weird weekend in some respects. I did a bonus Sunday fun day piece of nonsense on the American election. If you want to go and check that out, it's on the thingamajig. It's on my channels. It's all the channels. Apparently it's 420 on Endor. That's very geeky and stonery. Actually, the first when I came on, because you have to go on slightly early to get the link, so you can patch it into the OBS to get the chat on the screen. As it is just above my head there. And someone had already been on like 50 minutes early and was like, I am so high right now. Oh, yes. I mean, that I like my audience. I think they get me. I think you end up with the audience you deserve. I've said this before, and not necessarily in terms of size, of course, because there are some people on this website, this godforsaken shithole of a site, YouTube, and indeed, I suppose, on Twitch, they have far bigger audiences, or indeed far smaller audiences than one deserves. But in terms of the quality of them, the character of the people, you end up where you end up. Deservedly so. And that's a beautiful thing. Anyway. Yes, dear viewers. Following the US election, obviously, I did a week of drinking MAGA tears videos, and I certainly enjoyed them enormously. I hope you did too. Certainly from the feedback I got, people did seem to be rather happy with them, and that's good. I'm going to scooch my seat up ever so slightly. Come on, there we go. Oh, apologies. I should have really prepared that bit and the lamp before I got going. Crazy days. Anyway, yes, I certainly enjoyed them, and I hope you did too. And following that, I thought it would be only righteous to go back, to dip my toes back into the water of British politics. Now, I hadn't completely forgotten British politics or anything like that. Of course not. Because I'm from here, and that's what the news largely is. We followed the US election on British news. But as you can understand, it's not like the only thing that we were talking about. There's stuff going on here too. And the British government is falling apart, which is hilarious. Dominic Cummings, who's the piece of shite, who was essentially de facto Prime Minister. Like, Boris Johnson is the official holder of the title, right? But the de facto dude has been this guy called Dominic Cummings, who's like, I don't know, he's like a dollar store / pound store / euro store. Pick your denomination. Dollar store Nosferatu, if you will. Awful man. Anyway, right wing as fuck. Just wanted to do Brexit, right? Fuck him. And he's now gone, having fallen out with the Prime Minister's partner, who is also kind of a bit of a de facto Prime Minister. But basically, Boris Johnson is a kind of vaguely sentient haystack who is also a husk, just a pathetic political husk of a man. He's just a pretend bumbling twat. Anyway. Although he's certainly bumbling in the sense that he doesn't know what he's doing. He's really, really bad. Anyway, so I've been dipping my toes back into British politics, and Boris Johnson has had to self-isolate because of COVID, yet again. He came into contact with a member of his own political party, another member of Parliament, Conservative member of Parliament, who is now tested positive. And so Boris Johnson's had to go back into isolation for a third fucking time. You may remember he was hospitalised with this previously. Like, he's literally trying to kill himself along with everyone else. He's determined to kill everyone in the country, even fucking him. Britain is such a shithole of a place at the minute. It's just ridiculous. And I said this during the election stuff in America. And don't worry, there's plenty of salt coming, okay? Because even though we're not doing Drinking MAGA Tears Week as like a standalone thing, that's still happening in the world. Don't get me wrong, we'll get to it. As you can tell from the title of the fucking video, we've not forgotten about that shit. It's very much upcoming. When you find such a rich vein of salt in the mine, you fucking go for it. Anyway. Yes. So Boris Johnson is desperately trying to fucking kill himself, right? He was hospitalised before, and he's now gone into isolation again for a third fucking time. And it's so bizarre. Like, modern conservatism around the world is like a death cult. It's just a fucking death cult. That's all it's become now. Prepared to sacrifice piles of human corpses to the almighty $/pound/euro. Pick your denomination, right? That's all it is. That's absolutely all it is. And I talked about this during the American election, right? That America's bested us now. Like, there's an innate sense. There's an innate sense within British people that we're just better than America. Now, you can think that's good or bad or right or wrong. Actually, well, you can't. I don't know. You can think it's good, but you can think it's right or wrong. You can think that it's accurate or inaccurate. A feeling, but it's there, right? It's a thing. It's a thing that exists. And there's always been a part of me that's thought to myself that, whilst we're not as powerful or rich or whatever as America, that we're not quite as like fucking crazy and all the rest of it. And in terms of the religious kind of side of things, that's certainly still true. But I don't know that we can say that politically anymore. Like, I always thought, oh, it would be impossible for us to elect some dumbass like Donald Trump or George Bush or whatever. But we basically have. We've elected a complete fucking twat, an absolute wanker of extraordinary extent, and America is now basically a better country than we are. There's no, look, we in no way are we better now, because America just elected like a sensible grown up, like an actually competent, sensible human being, adult grown up man. And whilst some in America haven't accepted that fact, it is a fact. Again, we'll get to it. So in that respect, once they start electing leaders that are more competent than the people we have, we've got nothing. We've got fucking nothing. We're gone. So yeah, we're really fucked. We're really fucked. And of course, the right wing have been losing their fucking shit. This was just very, very funny. Just one example. Breaking: Boris Johnson has tested positive for Marxism, because they're doing like a national shutdown thing, which apparently is Marxism. I definitely remember. I think it's from the first edition, first volume of Das Kapital, where Marx explains that in order to beat a global pandemic, you have to do a lockdown, and that's when communism happens. So, definitely true. A lot of bollocks. These people are fucking insane. But anyway, talking about these fucking absolute shitbags. How's that right-wing populism working out for everyone? Because it's certainly fucked here. I need to just move that across for you there. Is that... Yeah, the numbers are on the screen. Right, there we go. These are the daily confirmed COVID-19 cases around the world. A few select nations here. You've got nations like Poland, right-wing nationalist, populist government. Hungary, ditto. United States, ditto. United Kingdom, ditto. Absolutely through the fucking roof. Some other countries, not so much. Canada, don't get me wrong, I know Prime Minister Al Jolson has his issues, but he's not a right-wing populist. Far fewer deaths. Far fewer cases, indeed. And this is per This is what's the exact figure? Is it per per 1 million or something, or per 10 million? I don't know. Anyway, but basically far fewer. It's proportional. It's not based on solely on population. Although even if that were the case, the fact that Japan is so low down there would indicate that population isn't necessarily the biggest issue, because they've got a population nearly twice as much as Britain, and the numbers are far fewer. So whatever. But it is proportional anyway. Norway, Japan, New Zealand's nothing. New Zealand barely registers there, which is, again, it's a much smaller country, I know, but it's still incredibly impressive. Well done to them. So if you elect right-wing populist governments, what you have is a fucking death cult who will happily sacrifice you and everyone you love, and themselves, Boris Johnson, you dopey bastard. You'd think they'd have some semblance of fucking self-preservation, even if they don't give a fuck about anyone else, but no, apparently not. A death cult that will happily sacrifice you and everyone you know, everyone you love, to the almighty dollar. They're fucking sick. They're genuinely sick human beings, okay? Both literally and spiritually. God almighty, these people are fucking vile. Anyway, so that's per million. Apologies, I can't fucking read. Leave me alone. Yeah, those numbers were per million, so there you go. Anyway, yeah. Don't forget India and Brazil, right wingers because of COVID. Yeah, Brazil's had huge problems. India's had huge problems. Although I suspect in certain places in Brazil and India, it's going to be more difficult for them to get accurate information because of either geographic instances, like in the Amazon, or in Brazil, or in the Himalayan regions of northern India, and because of poverty. They don't have the testing facilities in certain regions. They just don't exist, So it's going to be much more difficult. So I suspect the numbers reported for both of those countries are probably significantly lower than the actual figure, but there we go. You are Sargon and I claim my £5. No, sure. Oh, talking of Sargon, should we take a look at how fantastically well his website... Do you remember his website? Not that anyone really cares, I suppose, because it's Sargon, fucking hell. But do you remember... Sargon's amazing, absolutely amazing website that he was going to be launching last week? Should we see how that's gone? Look, Locust Eaters. Is that not right? Where's the fucking website gone? Lotus. I put locusts. That's silly. Anyway, lotuseaters.com. The site is currently down for maintenance. Oh, Anchor. Anyway, so that's going really well. He's definitely going to shut down the Sargon of Akkad channel and just run that website that doesn't fucking work. Again, modern conservatism is not absolutely peak in terms of its brilliance. Let's be honest. But anyway, pardon me. Yes, Donald J. Trumpadump. Where are we? Donald. Boom. He is... I always knew he was going to be dealing with the election loss ridiculously badly. Right. It was always going to be that way. But I didn't expect it to be quite as atrocious as this. Like, he's losing the fucking plot. He literally tweeted this out. Right? At midnight, I believe it was. Was it midnight? No, hang on. I won the election. Is he tweeted it out again? Because there was a caps locks version of it he did at midnight. Midnight East Coast time yesterday. November 15th, but that's a retweet. Oh, come on. Oh, has he deleted the midnight one? Because he definitely, I promise you, at midnight last night, it'll be on my profile, won't it? Because I retweeted it with a thing. Where are ya? Oh. There. No. Hang on. There we go. Look. At midnight last night, or 5 5 minutes to midnight. So that time's UK time, so we're 5 hours ahead. So at 5 minutes to midnight last night, he tweeted, all caps, I won the election. Which is fucking lunacy. What are you doing? You're a 75-year-old man. It's midnight. Go to bed, you absolute fucking weirdo. Stop being strange, you fucking creep. Anyway. So he's coping with it so bad. He's coping with it so unbelievably bad. I genuinely... What the fuck even is this guy? What even is this human being? Is he a human being? Is he a malfunctioning lizard in a human suit? I genuinely don't know. And we'll just go through a few of them because he's losing the fucking plot. Georgia won't let us look at all the important signature match. Without that, the recount is meaningless. Open up the constitutional consent decree now. Brian Kemp, that's the Conservative, Trump-loving piece of shit in Georgia. The claim about the election fraud is disputed. Oh yeah, he's been throwing in some lovely racism today. European countries are sadly getting clobbered by the China virus. The China virus! The fake news does not like reporting that. Again, do I have to go back to the numbers? Because you're getting fucked by it too. And that's because right-wing governments are handling this very, very, very badly. Because it turns out, if all you care about is money, when a virus comes along, lots and lots of people die. Stock market is getting very close to 30,000 on new vaccine news, 95% effective. Does he mean the stock market is 95% effective? I don't think so, but he's written that so poorly, it could be either. They will pack the courts! We won't let that happen. Well, again, that can't... You can say they want to pack the courts, we won't let that happen. Whatevs. Again, I'm trying to add some semblance of logic to what is completely irrational flailing. This is a man stood naked in the corner of the room, smeared in his own shit, just swinging into the shadows. The radical left Democrats, lol, working with their partner, the fake news media, are trying to steal the election. We won't let that happen. The claim about election fraud is disputed. Another vaccine. Try watching OANN. Really great. It's really great. You know, the site that's basically doing open fascism. Yeah. Super duper. Again, so that was 5 hours ago. So what time was that? 3. So basically, at midnight, he tweeted out in all caps, I won the election. And then at 3 in the afternoon, the next day, he says, I won the election again. But this time, at least, well, he's capitalised the E of election, which is odd. But other than that, it's grammatically and structurally correct. So that's nice. Well done to you. John Bolton. Now, bear in mind, John Bolton was a man that Donald Trump hired to be as part of his team and was there for, 2 years. John Bolton was one of the dumbest people in government that I've had the pleasure, you little bitch, Donald, you absolute little bitch, to work with. A sullen... There's no way he wrote this, by the way, because A, it's all grammatically correct, and the word sullen, Donald Trump does not know what the word sullen is. Anyway. A sullen, dull and quiet guy. He added nothing to national security except, gee, let's go to war. Also, illegally released much classified information. A real dope. Whatever intern wrote that for you, Donald, tell him to make it sound a little bit more, I don't know, or at least spell some stuff wrong. Otherwise, it's too obvious, man. Too obvious. Yeah, when you're citing Rudy Giuliani, or indeed paying him money to be your lawyer, you're gone. You're so gone. We always stand with real Donald Trump. Yeah, we know. And hopefully you lose, Kelly. Freedom Plaza. Suck a dick. By the way, this wasn't the Million MAGA March. And by the way, there's still not a million people there. That was the walk away thing that happened. Yeah, that's him tweeting out Andy No bullshit. Complete nonsense. Anyway. Oh, that's the Andy No thing. Look, do you denounce this, right? That wasn't an unprovoked attack, okay? This motherfucker had been attacking people. And that's from Dinesh D'Souza, a man who he actually, pardoned for his crime. Antifa scum. Like, he's losing the fucking plot, which is hilarious. Really, really funny. Now, the right wing have been losing their collective shit. They've got a new grand conspiracy theory, right? Hang on, where are we? They have a new grand conspiracy theory. It's not Q this time, although it's very Q-like. There's a lot of QAnon elements to the thing, okay? It's called the Great Reset. That's what they're calling it, right? And it's kind of got very similar QAnon elements to it. It's got very similar kind of Illuminati, New World Order, overarching. They're trying to do nefarious shit under the guise of something. And, it's a bit fucking crazy. It's a little bit crazy. Yeah, modern conservatism, again, is lunacy. This is Alexandra Marshall. I don't know who this person is. Doesn't really matter. Hang on. Slave? What? IT slave. Sorry, I thought, Jesus. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if they start calling themselves slaves or something, because they're just weird. Any politician who uses the phrase "build back better," which is the thing they do, this is the British government's thing about after COVID building it back. It's a load of bollocks, but whatever. Should be thrown out of government and charged with treason. When Boris Johnson is too left-wing for you. Is it the slogan of the Great Reset, an authoritarian plot for world domination at the expense of national sovereignty and universal suffrage? A crime against humanity. Jesus Christ. These people. These fucking people. And this, to give you an impression, the Great Reset has begun, right? This person has Ike was right. That's David Icke, who is the ultimate conspiracy dude. The guy who literally made up the humans in lizard suit thing. He's a fucking lunatic. Anyway, until recently, the Great Reset was mere conspiracy theory. Such talk was brushed off as extremist fantasy. But it's coming. An unholy alliance of global socialism, green taxation dressed as salvation, UN meddling, and build back better hokum. That's Martin Dubney. He was a former member of the member of the European Parliament from Britain. Yeah, that's really worrying, because this is the thing. When so much of right-wing shittery, the right-wing melee of Malay? No, that's not right, is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, milieu. The right-wing milieu of dickheads bought so completely into the QAnon thing, or elements of it. Because this is the thing. People will say, I'm not QAnon, because they only believe in bits of it. But that's the point. It's so completely purposefully diffuse that you can believe in some aspects of it and not others. Like, some people will believe in some of the more broad aspects of the Q thing, and some will go full on. Malays would have worked as well, although technically not, but yeah, correct. Some will, some will believe in the more fringe from Q's perspective, or the Q perspective, but more mainstream or whatever, in reality. Because Q obviously isn't fucking reality. So some will believe in those, and some will go full on, they're doing spirit cooking, drinking baby's blood. There's a satanic Illuminati pedophile ring operating in a non-existent Washington DC pizzeria basement. Like, there is some fucking crazy people out there, right? Some people who believe that there's like 7 bloodlines throughout history that have run everything. Oh God, just fucking kill me. End me now. Anyway, and once right-wing nonsense from I mean, it starts, or it generally tends to nowadays, start online, right? And once they bought so completely into that, as that kind of QAnon, New World Order, Illuminati, blah blah blah, they generally mean Jews. Let's be fucking frank about that. Once the conservatism or the general population of right-wing dickheads in the world bought into that, it was only a matter of time before politicians started to. And you've seen this Martin Daubney fucking prick. You've certainly seen people, even in the British Parliament, going on about George Soros funding the anti-Brexit movement and stuff like this. It's infuriating. And of course you've had QAnon supporters, avowed QAnon supporters, elected to the US Congress now. In fact, I think the stats remains correct that there are more QAnon Republican members of the House now than there are African American Republican members of the House. Yeah, so bad times ahead. Zuby, who is a fully certifiable twat, says, I see the Great Reset is trending today. I've been talking about this agenda for months, and sheeple, you can always tell, if they're using the word sheeple unironically, that person's an idiot. That person is a fucking idiot. You can ignore them. And sheeple have been calling me a conspiracy theorist and COVID denier. That's because you're both of those things, Zuby, you fucking idiot. So many sleepwalkers. Wake up. They've been programming you all year. Okay, babe. The green leap forward, because it's communism, you understand. Trying to save the planet from destruction is communism. Okay. The green leap forward is a utopia that governments around the world have got together to agree on. Terrible. Yeah. It involves massive state control, the decimation of existing normal, and do you mean the existing? Hang on. The decimation. It should be the decimation of the existing normal. Yeah. This person can't write. And misery for untold millions. Punctuation is not this person's strong suit. Not exactly a strong punctuation game from these people, surprisingly. COVID was the excuse they needed to roll it out. The Great Reset is Marxism. Again, that's true. Marx wrote, I think it was in the Communist Manifesto, if I recall correctly. He wrote that if a global pandemic happens, you need to use that as a way of doing the Great Reset, and then communism. It's laid out very specifically there. So, correct, Simon Dolan. You're not just a crazy prick on the internet. Honest! Build back better. Oh no! They've found a phrase that sounds good and probably tested well in corporate fucking... what do they call it? See, this is where I need Christy. Christy would know this phrase. Focus groups. Focus groups went well with Build Back Better. So at least 3 governments four, because that's Justin Trudeau. Sorry, Al Jolson. Apologies. Yeah. Who cares? It's a phrase. Yeah. So what? I don't care. Aren't you saying the Great Reset is like your new phrase? Does that mean I can say that you're trying to institute fascism because all of the fascists are saying the Great Reset, so therefore, like, it's just a fucking phrase. Who gets upset about that? Well, and also, to all of you conspiracy twats, right? Why is it that you think that the Illuminati that run the world, again, this is from their perspective, okay? Why do you think it is that the Illuminati, the secret moon Jews, the lizards in human suits, whatever you think is running the world, why do you think they like leaving clues for you? Why is it you think they like leaving breadcrumbs to the truth? Why would they do that? because that's just undermining the thing that they're, trying to achieve, whatever that is in your fucking crazy worldview. Like, they always do this, like, the Illuminati symbology and the numbers and the blah, blah, blah. It's all wank, right? You're a pattern relation animal, which humans are, of course, and you're looking for a pattern to explain something which is scary to you that you don't understand. That's what's happening with these fucking conspiracy pricks, right? And rather than just accepting there are huge things in the world that you can't control or that you can't necessarily know or understand fully because they're so massive and so complex that it would take a lifetime to even delve into one aspect of it, which is why you have like specialists in subjects and professors in specific weird niche subjects and topics, right? Rather than just accepting that they have to build this elaborate world where it's run by Martians or fucking whatever weird load of old shite they come up with. Fucking spirit cooking pedophile demon creatures. Whatever nonsense, right? Yeah, but why do the conspiracy theorists have to insist that they're leaving clues for people when that would be an obviously ridiculous thing to do? If you were one of the lizards in human suits, you would do everything in your power to try and not leave clues of that. Because that could lead to you being unmasked at some point and the whole plan falling down or whatever. So why would they do Build Back Better as a clue, as a little wink wink, nudge nudge, we're secretly Illuminati? Like, it's nonsense. It's just a phrase that, it's alliteration, isn't it? It's BBB, Build Back Better. It's a thing that sticks in people's heads. So they use the thing. Absolute wank. Absolute wank. Also, it's got to be borne in mind that this is also... These other countries have both a linguistic and cultural / empire heritage with Britain. So, naturally, there's going to be a certain kind of cultural crossover to it. All three of these countries were, at least in part, once formerly ruled by Britain. English is the predominant language, certainly in America and Canada, and is spoken pretty widely in Pakistan as well. So Build Back Better probably would work on a more unified basis. Try Build Back Better in one of the French countries. They won't get it. They mostly speak French. Now, a lot of them will speak English as well, but again, the cultural crossover thing won't work as well. So again, these people are kind of lunatics, but there we go. And not these four people specifically, although there are issues. But I mean the Great Reset people, that's an advert. I was for a second there. I thought, have they done an edit of a little advert for the Great Reset? Anyway, the Great Reset. Glad to see this is trending. I hope all of these who thought they were clever, mocking the conspiracy theory, find this a very bitter pill to swallow. Thanks to your ignorance, your arrogance and willful ignorance, the NWO globalists are on the point of succeeding. Well, you know what? If they oppose you, I don't mind. Fuck them. You people are absolute twats. Who's this? Meet your new unelected leader. Should we know who that person is? I don't recognise them. It's just an old white guy. That's not George Soros, is it? So, praise be upon him. Do we know who this person is? Are they suggesting that Bojo is a Marxist? They literally are, yes. They are literally saying that. Anyone in the chat, do we know who this creature is? Obviously it's a lizard in a human suit, naturally, of course, we understand that. But do we know who this human suit is supposed to represent? Bilderberg? Oh, you reversed. Okay, I could do that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, search for Google on image on Google. Not search for Google on image. There's Professor Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum. Oh, okay. He's a German engineer and economist, best known for the founder and executive of the World. Okay, so he's a German economist. Okay, so basically that's the new the new George Soros or whatever. Although I say new, he's 82, so... So, but why does this person think we're going to know the random face of a German economist? That's a really weird tweet. That's creepy. Don't do that. You can stick your great roots up your arse, you demonic globalist scum. God will win. Is that real? Is this person real? Information warfare. But they put an image of Alex Jones looking fucking crazy, as if that's supposed to be convincing. Rather than completely fucking discrediting. God almighty, these people are fucking brilliant. Oh, I can't with these people. I just can't. Oh, calm, Kev, calm. Oh, this is just, there's too much fun in this. The level of salty bullshit is too beautiful. But anyway, now it's time for
Logan's Amazing Conservatives of Cancel Culture. Cocks and penis.
Yes, it's the Conservatives of Cancel Culture. Yes. Here we have an amazing, it's only 2 minutes, but it's an amazing little video called "These Trump supporters say Fox News is too liberal." Oh yes, they've cancelled Fox News. The right wing have bought so ludicrously into the concept of Donald Trump being the Big Daddy King Man. Big Daddy King Man, the Emperor, King Emperor, dickhead. That they've now cancelled Fox News because Fox News, a rarity for Fox News, actually just reported the truth of a thing that happened. That being that Joe Biden, Joseph Robinette Biden, amazing name, Robinette, beautiful, won the election in America. Very simple fact. Very straightforward piece of information. They reported that. That was too much, though, because that goes against the plan. Q didn't say that was going to happen. And so they've absolutely lost their fucking shit over that and cancelled Fox News. Even though they're against cancel culture, apparently. Anyway, so when you're too right-wing for Fox News... And by the way, I just want to say, there's so many elements to this video. Like, there's one particular man, and trust me, I will be going off on length about this human being. But there's so many weird elements to this. Firstly, they're in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but there appear to be some southern people there. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they travelled. Maybe they live there. I don't know. People do move. That's the thing. America. It's weird for people outside of America because people in Britain don't tend to move very far from where they're born. By and large, it does happen, especially if you go to places like London. There are lots of Londoners there, but there are lots of people from outside the place who live there now. But generally speaking, people stay where they're from. Whereas in America, they just move everywhere. It's whatever, you know. Or a lot more people, it seems. But anyway, yeah, and some of the people in here are amazing. And there's one particular human being who, since I watched this clip a couple of days ago, because someone sent it to me, naturally. And by the way, if you've got submissions for this kind of stuff, my DMs are open. Slide on in there. Send me your links. No dick pics, thank you. And yeah, I'm happy to take a look. There's one, since I saw this a couple of days ago, there's one particular human being who I've become rather obsessed by, because there's so many elements of fucking weirdness to this human being. I don't know where to begin. But I'm going to have to begin somewhere. Anyway.
At this point, I don't trust Fox News.
Were you guys Fox News fans?
Yeah, they've got like a Northern Irishman interviewing people. But CNN have hired a Northern Irishman to... Like, people in Britain can't understand Northern Irish people.
Up until election night, or
we've been.
We were fading fast.
We're fading fast. Fox News is
We like Tucker.
it's crap. Fox News called
They like Tucker. Why is it do we think that they like Tucker Carlson? Oh yeah, because he's a fascist as well. Look how sad he is. Oh.
Arizona way early. They never switched it.
Look how he did the existential sorrow within this human being. It's incredible. He's not even the one I took to though. This is like a taster. This is an appetizer.
Never switched it when it got close.
Who do you think is pulling Biden's strings?
Fox News has been a favorite media outlet for President Trump.
I watched Fox and Friends in the morning.
We've had some incredible strength in terms of people like Sean Hannity, the great Lou Dobbs.
What an embarrassment you must be as a journalist when the president is praising you. That you're not really doing your job, are you? If the president calls you great.
Like some of the things on Fox, certainly Sean and Laura, and Tucker's been great lately.
Why do they like Tucker? Oh, because they're fascists as well. Yeah.
And the network's been criticised for being Trump's mouthpiece.
Pro-Trump
It has
outlets
been,
and some
yeah.
of Fox's biggest stars are enabling this alternative reality that claims that Biden is not president-elect.
But during the campaign, as Joe Biden pulled ahead in the polls and was eventually declared the president-elect, many Trump supporters I spoke to said they no longer trust Fox News.
I don't even watch the news anymore. I don't even watch Fox anymore because they're getting just as bad as the other ones.
what's your main source of information?
My main source of information is I listen to Alex Jones.
I listen to Alex Jones. I love that. I don't watch the news anymore. I watch Alex Jones. So you're saying Alex Jones doesn't do news? Okay, I mean, I agree. But that's not good. That's just pure echo chamber bullshit. And this is the thing, right? And we're going to get onto the skeptics in a minute. Or after we're done with this. That whole, the skeptics moving to the far right thing was always going to end up in this place. The facts over feels guys were always going to end up enabling the crazy feels people.
And George Floyd, that all happened. I stopped following CNN, Fox
You mean when George Floyd was murdered by the police?
News.
Okay.
CNN sucks, man.
This is the dude. This dude. Oh my god. Right. I don't know where to begin. The face. I'm sorry, I'm going there, right? He looks like a little bit like he's made out of Play-Doh. Like he's sunburned. He looks like he's made out of Play-Doh. His beard looks like that of a homeless man that's just been trimmed. It's very odd. I'll be honest, he looks inbred. I don't know how else to put that. He's got a weird bracelet on as well. His t-shirt makes him look a little bit hippie. He's got a fucking stabilisation camera. What the fuck do they call those things? I don't even know. But he obviously doesn't work for like a proper news organisation. Like I don't know what I don't know what website this is going on to or what he's even filming particularly because it's just a group of Trump people being crazy Trump people. But look, I mean, look at him. He looks like he's been. I don't even know, like a cartoon character. I'm not sure. He's got weird back fluff going on. You can even see that above the t-shirt line. How fucking hairy is this man's back? Is he like a fucking gorilla? He's a ginger gorilla. I don't even know. It's so weird. CNN sucks.
You think CNN sucks? Because you suck. You're the worst news ever. So slanted. Where'd you get?
So slanted. So slanted, right? He doesn't like slanted news, people.
What's your news from? OAN, baby. OAN?
OAN, baby. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. What on earth? What the fuck is wrong with these people? How are these people real? I don't... Fox, CNN is so slanted. Where'd you get your news? OAN, baby. Sorry. OAN, baby. Like, how are these people real? I don't even know. What's OAN? Oh, bless you, Mike. Bless you. OAN. It's one American network, or one American news network. Sometimes it's OANN. It's like Fox News on crack. It's way right, like crazy right wing, conspiratorial QAnon up Trump's arse bullshit. It's fucking whack. And as we saw earlier in the piece, Donald Trump literally tweeted out, "You should watch OAN." Because even Fox's minor, tiny pushback on Trump was too much for him. The bitch flew off the handle and is now a QAnon, OAN, sorry. I mean, it's the same basic deal, but an OAN, and the other new one is Newsmax, which again is very similar to OAN in many respects. Yeah, I mean, they're just open fascist garbage.
And they're a lot more honest than you. Even Fox News is crooked.
Even Fox?
Yep, good luck.
Just cancelling Fox. Oh, and also American flag holder there. That's nice.
Bud. Only one good on Fox is Tucker Carlson.
Why do they like Tucker Carlson? Oh, yeah, because he's a fascist too.
Maybe a little bit of Greg Gutfeld. The rest of them, slanted liberals.
The rest of them are slanted liberals. So, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, all of those people, slanted liberals. Interesting.
Doesn't Trump like Fox? He calls it Fox.
Not anymore, probably.
He called in on election
does
day.
he?
Called in on election day.
Maybe.
He did.
Maybe.
No,
he did. Literally, that's the thing. We're going to get onto the trousers. Stay with me, people. We're going to get onto his pants. They are quite something. But literally, that's the perfect summation of the Trumpian mindset. He called in on election day. Maybe. No, he did. He did. We literally, look, he did. He bragged about it. And, like, we've got tape of it. You can fucking see it. It's everywhere. Like, it's, maybe. No, he fucking did. What? It's like it's talking to a brick wall with these people. He's talking to a brick wall at this point. That's not a human being. Not only does it not really look like a human being, it's not spiritually or psychologically a human being anymore. It's a brick wall. It's a brick wall wearing tartan jammy pants. That human being looked at themselves in the mirror. Assuming they own a mirror, maybe they think mirrors are magic or something, I don't know. The mirror's trying to steal your soul, so he doesn't have a mirror, I don't know. But they looked at themselves that day, bright yellow t-shirt, red and black tartan pyjama trousers, pants, whatever you want to call them. Bag on wheels. He's got a little old granny fucking pull bag situation going on there. Looked at themselves, thought, well, I'll top that off with a nice little hat. And a what would Jesus do bracelet thing. Grateful Dead bright yellow t-shirt, and actually it's probably not the Grateful Dead. I don't. It's just a tie-dye t-shirt. I don't fucking know. Or vaguely tie-dye. Thought to himself, that I look good. I look really good for this. I'm going to go out and film me some good old patriots. Look at him. What is this creature? I want to sit down and talk with this man. I want to adopt him and study him. Actually, I don't want to adopt him, but I do want to study him. Like he's a kind of rare type of tiny, I don't know, a monkey creature. And I want to study him and go like, what's he doing? Why is he doing that? What could it possibly mean? What is this? That's how I look at this creature. It's like I'm in a zoo, right? It's like if you took someone who didn't know about all these wild animals and took them to a zoo. That's how I feel looking at this creature now, right? What is it? Does it want to eat me? Probably it does, I don't know. Thankfully it's far away though, in this instance, although behind a cage for the analogy purpose. What is it? What does it do? What's the point of it? How is it a thing? I don't know, but I've been virtually unable to get this man out of my mind. That's not true, but I've thought about him a little bit. That's the literal truth of it. But I'm going to go with I'm obsessed with him. Anyway, yeah, this thing, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't go much further than I don't know what this fucking creature is.
He did.
Oh, I don't know.
Spectacular. Absolutely fucking spectacular. I don't... Have you seen the guy talking about Gorillas in the Mist? I have. I played that on the Sunday stream, yes. Is that the guy with the amazing, fucking amazing hair? He's got like big white hair on. It's quite something. Looming Masonic pyramid in the background. Oh, that? Yeah. Yeah, that's the fuck it. Go with it, it's the Masons. It's not actually, but you can go with it. How are we all, chitty chats? I haven't even talked to anyone yet. Has he made good on his... Oh, War Corps. I'd totally forgotten about War Corps. Okay. What I'll do, I'm just going to do a piece straight to camera now. And I'm going to cut this out, right? And make its own separate video and put that up on my YouTube, okay? War Corps. Lord of Patriarchy. Dave Nordell. However you wish to be addressed. You may remember, Dave, before the election that recently took place, the general election in the United States, you threw down the gauntlet to me. You made a bet, apropos of literally nothing, that you said that Donald Trump would win the election and that I had said that Joe Biden would. Now, I hadn't at that point not made that claim because I was not sure at all. We were months out from the actual day itself. But you threw down the gauntlet. You challenged me. You said, let's have a bet. Your stake was that should Donald Trump lose, that you, Dave Nordell, would go out into your yard, tip a bucket of ice cold water over yourself, film that and put it online. And should, conversely, Joe Biden lose the election, I would do likewise. Go out into my yard, bucket of ice cold water over the head, film it, put it online. The challenge having been laid before me, I could not resist. So, I accepted your offer. We waited. We waited for the election day and the results to come. That day arrived. Lots of Conservatives in America don't seem to want to accept that that day arrived. I assume you're not one of them. I think you're far too intelligent, thoughtful, and beautiful a man to have possibly fallen into that trap. So, Dave, now's time to pay up, motherfucker. I'm cashing my bet. You lost. You're going to have to, now, in order to fulfill honour, go out into your yard, bucket of ice cold water over the head, film it and put it online, okay? I'm going to need to see that video. That's going to need to happen. I won't tell you for what purpose I need to see that video. That's between me and God on Judgment Day. We won't go into it. But, in order for you to fulfill your honour, and for you to not be a massive bitch, you're going to have to do that for me now, okay? I will give you, say to, I don't know, what's the date? The 16th. I will give you to the end of November in order for you to fulfill that bet, to cash that bet, as I'm sure you will, as a man of honour, between gentlemen, I'm sure you will. I expect to see that by the end of the month. Otherwise, you are officially a massive, massive bitch. Pip pip. So there we go. That I'm going to clip that out and put that as a little video on its own. That happened. Oh, I'd totally forgotten that. I'd totally forgotten the War Corps bit. Oh, anyway. Hopefully you enjoyed that. That piece of nonsense. What was I going to do? I was doing something else. Oh, yes, right. Yes, So, moving on slightly from the nonsense. Although not really, because this person definitely engages in that. Oh, that's not right. No, fuck that up. This person definitely engages in the same kind of conspiracy bullshit about Donald Trump. This creature, very similar to the last one in many respects, although they're both unique individuals. This fucking weird fascist Jesus. He looks a bit like Jesus and he's a fascist. That's the basic gist. This person goes by the online moniker Sticks Hexenhammer 666. And as you can see, they're wearing a bathrobe. Just casual. Although, that by itself isn't actually that strange when you consider that sometimes he does videos in a leather jacket and nothing underneath. Because that's a cool look. You look spectacular, Sticks. Can I call you Sticks? Fuck it, I'm calling you Sticks. Yeah, this guy is one of the special idiots. He really is one of the special idiots online. Although that sounded a bit ableist. I don't mean it like special needs, like special as in extraordinary. He is an extraordinary idiot, is what I'm referring to there. You can literally see there in the background he's got a wooden thing. That's supposed to be him, with his two fingers up, and it says, "I won't back down." Okay, babe. Whatevs. No one fucking cares. And, yeah. I mean, just look at him. Just look at this image. This thing before you. It's incredible. Incredible. He is a neo-Nazi piece of garbage. He idealises... He's literally, in some of these videos, he's got a Roman flag behind him. Literally with the SPQR thing on it. Which is interesting that he calls himself a libertarian. Lol. He is a Holocaust denier, naturally. He believes in any number of the QAnon conspiracy theories. He is, I think we can start calling them election deniers at this point, surrounding the victory of Joseph Robinette Biden. And, yeah, he's wearing a fucking bathrobe. Let's not bury that lead. That's a thing that we're seeing right now in front of us. This creature is wearing a fucking bathrobe to do a video. Should we take a look?
All right, everyone, it's time to chuckle a little bit about the so-called skeptics, you know, the communists formerly known as skeptics, I suppose.
The communists formerly known as skeptics. The communists formerly known as skeptics. Okay.
They're not communists. They prefer the term social democrat, except in private where they proclaim themselves socialists, ranting about...
That's interesting. That's a little sideswipe at Sharon Head, I believe. But also, the rest of them are also socialists or something? What are you talking about, you fucking idiot? You know there are loads of the skeptic community that are also on Parler, because this is about Parler, the site where if you're too fascist even for Twitter and Facebook, you go to Parler. That's saying something.
Parler, because it was funny because it's like, I guess the idea is that if you're like me, if you're a libertarian or something...
You're not a libertarian, Sticks, that's a joke. You're a fool. Don't be puzzled by Robinette Haruka. That was his mother's maiden name, I think. I think so, yeah. And so they just put it as his middle name. So the name was in there. I presume that was because this was pre the days when hyphenating names and stuff. Like you took your husband's fucking surname. Simple. So they went with Robinette as his middle name, which is an amazing middle name. Robinette. It's beautiful. Anyway, yeah, but this guy isn't a libertarian. That's a joke.
There's something wrong with you if you say, well, Twitter shouldn't be censoring people. I'm going to use Parler, and then you don't have a problem with them still having a TOS.
That's interesting because Stick Sexenhammer, via his Twitter account, has consistently said that communists need to be shut down. Just saying.
I guess the idea is that everyone is supposed to either be a socialist or an ANCAP, and this sort of very, very simplistic dichotomous thinking, both in general and in more specific elements of political thought, is very common among far leftists. They don't want you to think that there's any nuance within political systems. For instance,
Sticks, you fucking hypocritical slice of dog shit. You literally just got done accusing skeptics of all being communists, and you're now saying that there are other people out there who don't like the concept of nuance in political thinking. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? You fucking monumental hypocrite.
they would say about libertarians, well, you have to support corporate censorship because it's a private business. Well, no, you don't.
No. Again, Sticks. When we say that as a retort, what we are saying is that you, the capitalist, have to support a private entity doing that. You are the ones who believe solely in the absolute, immutable, immovable fucking strength of the private properties, right? You are the ones that believe in that shit. So we're saying to you, if you don't believe that's the case, why are you advocating for that in every other instance, but for the cases where it affects you personally? You're just being a selfish prick, okay? You want capitalism red in tooth and claw for the poor people and the brown people and the gays and the trans people, whatever. Right? But when it affects me personally, when Twitter use their private property in the way they like, but it hurts me because I want to just say some fascist shit or post child porn or whatever fucking absurd, disgusting shit you're referring to, that's wrong. We need to have government intervention on that instance. No, motherfucker. Have a principle and stick to it for once in your fucking lives. So when we say Twitter is a private company, we're not literally saying we think Twitter as a private company should be able to censor whoever they like or whatever, okay? We're saying you can't say that as a capitalist and not be a fucking hypocrite.
Because you can apply the philosophical, classically liberal underpinnings of the First Amendment.
Classical
determine
liberal.
that a vertical monopoly is unacceptable under the confines of a free market and believe that it shouldn't exist. Vertical monopolies are improper within a capitalistic system. They are actually...
Are they? Because they seem to produce them quite regularly. So I don't know how improper you think they are.
Actually caused by state intervention, as we see California throwing money at multi-billion-dollar corporations, the government giving them broad...
Oh, see, that's not capitalism, that's corporatism. Oh, silly me. So that kind of pure capitalism that has never existed and never, ever, ever will exist, that conceptual version of capitalism which is perfect and therefore absolutely unimpeachable and uncriticisable, right? Because it's perfect. Yeah, that version of capitalism, you wouldn't get these kind of hierarchies and stuff. No. Okay. Okay, well, in the fantasy land where that exists, cool argument, bro. But this is reality. So maybe you should argue from a point of, reality.
Protection in the copyright arena that it doesn't necessarily extend to smaller businesses all the time. Differential enforcement of copyright and other similar laws. When you have this system, when you have the government playing favorites, the government is involved in the system. It's not pure capitalism.
He even says that's not pure capitalism. When, Sticks, motherfucker, when has capitalism in its pure form ever existed? Please do tell me a time and place where pure capitalism has ever existed. It never has. I'm asking that question knowing full well the answer. It never has. Okay? Because these same motherfuckers who will decry, the government handing out money and paying favourites, will also say that America's a capitalist country. Even though, under his definition of pure capitalism, America isn't capitalist at all. The government intervenes all the while. There are, regulations on, water quality. They're not always very strictly enforced, of course. Look at Flint and such. But there are things like that. There are, companies can't just willy-nilly kill people. Again, not always very well enforced, let's be fucking honest. Corporate manslaughter is widespread. But there are laws in place to restrict businesses in a number of ways. There are things like taxes, which again, to a degree, play favourite, especially on a state-by-state basis. There are loads of capitalist, or impure capitalist elements there. So you can't say that capitalism has lifted anyone out of poverty, Sticks, because pure capitalism has never lifted a single person out of or into anything. It isn't real.
Not within the commercial framework. So when I see them ranting about Parler and saying, well, leftists have been kicked off Parler, first I would ask you, who? Name a specific individual who says that they were kicked off Parler, and then they're on the left. Then ask them why they were kicked off. Did they post copyrighted content? Did they attack another user? Did they say something illegal? See, there's the nuance that is lost. You don't know why they were banned, or in fact, even if that's actually true, because I don't have an actual name to associate with the claim. I would like to know who was banned and what they were supposedly banned for. Now, I've got plenty of examples of this from big tech sites. For instance, Stefan Molyneux. He's been banned off Twitter. He's been banned off YouTube. YouTube, I think, banned him first. He gets banned supposedly because of hate speech. Doesn't even go through the normal strike system. Twitter lets him go probably just because YouTube let him go. And we've seen this before. Colette gets banned off Twitter. Hate speech. Baked Alaska.
But, again, Sticks. You can't, on the one hand, brush off Parler's banning of people. Even though you claim it hasn't happened. I've seen a couple of examples of it happening. You can't just wave that away and say, oh, well, where's the nuance? And then be like, well, Stefan Molyneux was banned for hate speech or something. But and then this person was banned and that person... Yeah, because there are reasons for those bannings, aren't there? You can agree or disagree with them, but you can't just brush them aside whilst also saying, well, Parler are allowed to because nuance. Does he not... Genuinely, does he not get the hypocrisy here? I don't know. It could be stupid enough or deluded enough. I don't know.
Alaska gets banned everywhere, basically. Well, in that case, I think it's more real-world harm at this point because there's been some shit going on with that. We won't bother to cover that, but kind of...
Yeah, don't bother calling a right-wing motherfucker, kind of weirdly torturing people on air. That happened. Or being arrested several times for... obviously being a prick in when you're supposed to be wearing a mask in public. He got arrested for that. Man.
Funny. I can understand why people would be a little bit mad when you show up with
It's funny. Torturing people on air is funny. That's, yeah. I'm glad we've got these moral guardians to protect us from degeneracy, though. That works out really well for everyone.
RV in a parking lot and start blasting the N-word on repeat on your phone. But that's, just me. I can at least, because I can sort of understand why that would be frowned upon, especially it was like fucking the middle of the night. It was like 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. or something like that. It's already dark out and you're doing that shit in the parking lot. Well, what the fuck do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
But anyway, Parler has every right to have TOS. So does Twitter. What I would say, though, is if they are a platform and they are editorializing content for a specifically political purpose while taking government grants, platforming government figures and so forth, yeah, it would be unacceptable. But that's not the way, unfortunately, 230 is being applied. It's not even being applied at this point. There's no attempt by Congress. They're not bought off by Parler. They're bought off by Twitter and similar groups. There's no attempt to enforce 230 protections on users.
Eventually I'm going to have to dig into what this 230 thing is, the Article 230, whatever. Something to do with internet freedom or something. I don't really understand it. It's an American piece of legislation, but I don't really care. And yeah, Tony points out, yeah, Parler's been bought and paid for by the Mercers. The same people who put money into Breitbart. The Mercers do like pouring money into right-wing shitholes that fail. They're far-right garbage.
230, the very idea is that a site...
But anyway, the point being, I'm going to have to dig into the 230 thing. Because I've heard left-wing people talk about it and how they're right or wrong about it, and that might very well be true, but I can't really give you any nuanced perspective on that.
Platforms couldn't exist without 230. You're essentially saying the site itself, as long as it is not editorializing...
Also, 2:30 is the time you go to the dentist. Dad jokes!
And therefore acting as a publisher should not be able to be sued because somebody else, some third party they platform, put on something illegal. That's essentially what 230 means. Twitter has begun to politically editorialize content. They are literally censoring the President of the United States as we speak. How is that not an editorializing situation?
No, they aren't. What are you talking about? Who's censoring him? This is the Article 230. A piece of internet legislation in the United States passed into law. Part of the Communications Decency Act, 1996. Title 5, formally codified. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Why do they want to get rid of that then? Because that's just going to mean that they're going to do what they're now doing, but like for every single instance. You're not going to be able to do anything on Twitter. So what is their argument here? Why do they think that's a good idea to get rid of this? I do love an old racist joke, Kev, too. Was the joke I did wasn't racist? What? How's going to the dentist racist? What? I'm confused by that comment. Apologies, but anyway. Yeah, but dad jokes. Yeah, I do dad jokes. I don't do racialisms. I'm confused by that. That's very annoying. Having a dentist is bourgeois. Correct. Absolutely correct. Yeah, but why do they want to get rid of that? Because then Twitter are just going to do... I mean, so they basically want to burn the place down. They basically want to... It seems, from the... I'm trying to get into their mindset here. It's racist because teeth are white. Mine aren't. I've got British teeth, motherfucker. Yeah, it seems from the perspective of the right-wing dipshits that they're saying, like, oh, well, because we're being banned from these sites, burn it all down. I think is the point. Yeah, ridiculous.
Facebook and Instagram have done the same thing. YouTube and Google, to their credit, haven't. I think they're a little bit more...
Does the NHS cover dental? It does. But ineffectively, if that makes sense. Like, it's not actually a part of the NHS. Dental practices are all private, but the NHS does cover dental, so you can go to the dentist whenever you want to. But some dentists don't... It's quite complicated, but some dentists don't take NHS patients. Most do, though. Most have some. But it's not quite as good, and there are some things you do have to pay for, like teeth whitening and stuff like that. But if it's like a genuine medical thing, then yeah, you can get it. Yeah.
Wary. I think it's very ironic that YouTube, run by someone like Sundar Pichai, is actually more hesitant. Initially, it was Jack Dorsey being more hesitant. A couple of years ago, he was like the laissez-faire hippie of them all. No, I'm not going to ban InfoWars. They haven't done anything against the site. And then people dug back through every tweet ever made. And then in a roundabout way, okay, I guess this 3-year-old tweet kind of broke our TOS, so bye.
Some people do it in a Chinese accent. Okay, I mean, yeah, if you do it in a Chinese accent, it becomes very racist. But that's the accent that's the racial element of it. Like just saying 230. 230. But I'm still saying that in my accent. No, I'm not. Fuck it. Just because some other people tell it in a racist way. I didn't tell it in a racist way. It's about going to the fucking dentist. Well, it's not literally. It's about the phrase tooth hurt-y. Oh, God. I hate the world.
And it was a big cop-out. It's more like the lawyers were calling him. They're like, yeah, we're going to have a problem. The social justice warriors are going to target our sponsors. You got to kick InfoWars off the site. By the way...
Interesting, the people they choose to defend. So far, the people he's mentioned have been like Stefan Molyneux, racist, Nazi piece of garbage. Mark Collett, literally a former member of the British National Party, a fucking Nazi. Baked Alaska, Nazi, marched at Charlottesville, got bear maced, which was very funny in Minecraft. And InfoWars. QAnon conspiracy theory, said that Sandy Hook parents were child actors, said the Boston bombing was a staged government hit or something. Like, just awful garbage people.
InfoWars on BitChute, almost 100,000 subscribers. They will be only the second channel to have achieved this after yours truly. It's very interesting. By the way, BitChute is supposedly run by Nazis too, right? According to these skeptics so-called. Supposedly...
Okay, so he's going to be nuanced here that BitChute isn't run by Nazis, according to the skeptics, who he labelled all as communist earlier. Okay, babe.
Run by Nazis. Far right and so forth. Their top user's me. The number 2 site is InfoWars, which they didn't get banned for being Nazis. They got banned because the legacy media claimed that they were peddling dangerous conspiracy theories. Jesus Christ, what the fuck was YouTube actually made of 10 years ago other than kooky conspiracy theories anyway? Fucking Art Bell re-uploads and InfoWars and stuff like that was sort of one of the biggest things on YouTube up until fairly recently. Gutting the site completely, and I seem to...
So, what? But you're not really... That's not an argument against having conspiracy theories here. I mean, dude... You have to actually argue that the conspiracy theories are good, not just they existed here. That's not a defence of conspiracism, or of InfoWars, or of anything. This guy's a fucking dipshit, I swear to God.
Recall that people are saying, oh, you people are just hateful fascists and you only want free speech for yourself. Dude, some of these skeptics, they literally made their brand off of 2 things. Number 1, violating pre-existing TOS sometimes on these sites against blasphemy, going after religion, and number 2, going after feminism. Almost universally, by the way, among these particular groups, going after third waivers, something...
Which is definitely a thing that communists always do.
...that is decreasingly allowed on the mainline tech sites. You're not going to get banned on Parler because you happen to be a leftist. You harass people, you might get banned. You're posting porn, you might get banned. How am I supposed to know why specifically the person...
But again, that's as always. And this is why all of these sites fail. Gab failed. What was the other one? Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, bit something or other. Anyway, and the Parler will fail because they all go there saying, we're censorship free. We're completely censorship free. But the thing is, as soon as more people get there, you realise that some people are pricks and will abuse that freedom. So they inevitably have to, in order to make it a usable site. Because if it's just people spamming porn and fucking weird Nazi shit and all the rest of it, just spam it constantly, it becomes unusable. It becomes absolutely unusable, unreadable, and no one goes there, and it dies. So inevitably, in order to make it work at all, you then have to introduce terms of service, which then means that eventually the fucking crazy Nazis get kicked off, and they go and create a new one. Fucking Parler 2.0, and then Parler 3.0, because the same process keeps happening. Because these people can't keep it in their fucking pants for more than 5 seconds. So they make it absolutely unusable, they introduce terms of service, they move to a new site, blah, 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 blah. Rinse and repeat.
It was banned. Half the time I can't even get an answer from a mainline tech site when somebody gets banned. Sometimes they don't even tell the person who's been banned. Parler's very upfront about it. Their TOS are there for you to see. It's not 10,000 pages long either, like the Google terms of service.
So it's okay when the fascists have their fascist terms of service. That's super duper awesome, says the libertarian.
Keeping that in mind, it's very, very funny to see someone proclaiming Parler's doing something wrong by having rules on the site. Again, Why was the person banned? Would be the pertinent question.
So it's okay to censor some people then? Because again, I don't think banning people is necessarily censorship. Again, in the same vein as the argument about Twitter is a private company, you as a capitalist are surely fine with that. I'm pointing out the hypocrisy of these motherfuckers. When someone gets banned because of terms of service on Parler, you think that's super awesome, don't you, Sticks? Whereas when they're doing it on Twitter, it's because they're communists or whatever. Like, the hypocrisy is so glaring. It's so just ridiculous. And yet, here he is. Fucking fascist John Lennon. He looks a bit like John Lennon. That's a shame.
That nuance needs to be explored before you can say whether Parler did anything wrong. Nobody's claiming even that mainline tech doesn't have the right to ban people. We're just questioning, number one, the expansion of these TOS. Number two, if it conforms to 230. Number three, does it conform actually to the idea of...
Why does it matter if it conforms to 230? Don't you think that government interference with capitalist companies is bad? Because that's not pure capitalism. Because that's a piece of government legislation infringing upon the private property rights of this company. And that's bad, because that's not pure capitalism. Do you see how your fucking entire ideology is so ridiculous you keep tripping up over your own fucking feet all the time?
Equal protection under the law guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution, insofar as a U.S. site that platforms...
But the U.S. Constitution is a piece of government legislation. The same argument, right? It's infringing upon the private property rights of blah, 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 blah.
Government goods and services, and figures that are taxpayer funded would ban people from interacting with them. I personally believe it does breach the Constitution.
Is he the walrus? Cuckoo cachoo.
Leftists generally disagree. It's funny because they try to make the libertarian argument, which is actually a straw man leftist argument, posing as a libertarian argument.
No, it's not. Sticks. It's not a leftist argument posing as a libertarian argument. It's leftists stating your own position back at you. Not a straw man position, an actual position. Okay? You think that that's not pure capitalism, so we should have pure capitalism in your eyes. It's a private company, they can do what they want. Because that's the whole point, is that libertarianism is so absurd. Right-wing libertarianism, not actual socialist libertarianism. Right-wing North American incorrect usage of the term libertarianism is so ridiculous that you end up in a situation where, in order to be completely without those kind of unjustified hierarchies or whatever, you end up with capitalist organisations essentially running their own fiefdoms. And human rights be damned.
A free market, it's a free country, it's a free company, they can do what they want. No, corporations don't get to unilaterally do everything they want. It is possible for corporations to break the law.
But that's not pure capitalism. You literally said the phrase pure capitalism in this video, Sticks. You literally did that. We all fucking heard you. So if the government having a role in choosing what companies can do and interfering with the pure, godly marketplace, that's not pure capitalism. That's corporatism.
230 is the law of the land that protects them from lawsuits. If they're not willing to abide by the terms of 230, they should be sued into oblivion. That's about all.
Oh, fucking hell. Again, the libertarian mindset in a nutshell. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway. Yeah, these people are fucking crazy. Should we go back to... before I leave you, we'll go back to Trump, see if he's been tweeting anymore. Because that's... Oh, where are we? Oh yeah, this happened as well. Just apropos of not a lot. Ben Shapiro playing weirdness. This is perfectly obvious. Anyone who pretends that this is not a referendum on masculinity for men to don Floofy dresses is treating you like a full-on idiot. Floofy dress gang, rise up. Or even floofy gag blam dan jabadam, as I nearly said. And then look, so he's playing the typical masculine card, and look at this. It's like human Russian nesting dolls. What the fuck's going on here? And I just tweeted that same picture out with, is Ben Shapiro real? I genuinely, I'm not sure he is, to be honest. And then Henk, absolutely killing it. Where's the Henk thing? Someone did that. Corrupt. Candace Owens out for a waifu pillow, which you might have a problem with. That is like, oh, that's black female erasure. But also, Candace Owens has made a career out of doing black female erasure, so I'm sure she's probably not against it. And then this is Ben Shapiro showing off his manly chest hair. Now, as both Henk and I discussed in that whole piece, there's nothing wrong with being tall or short, okay? It doesn't matter, you can be tall or short, fat or thin, whatever gender, it doesn't matter, right? Whatever you are, be happy with that, that's cool. But don't play the typical masculine, typical feminine shit. It's ridiculous and fucked up and wrong. Especially when you don't conform to it. Ben Shapiro, you are not a manly man. In any real conceivable sense. You are a weird little creature. Shut up. Anyway. No, he hasn't tweeted anything. Okay. Also, he's used the word clobbered is fun. Although his use of China virus isn't. There was also, did he say China plague at one point? Didn't he? Was another piece of his racist nonsense, I recall. Yeah, another vaccine just announced. This was from 6 hours ago. Another vaccine just announced, this time by Moderna, 95% effective for those great historians. Please remember that these great discoveries, which will end the China virus, all took place on my watch. Yeah, but you had nothing to do with them. Not just you personally, Donald, which is obvious because you're not a scientist or whatever. But your administration didn't have anything to do with them. Nothing whatsoever. Also, China plague, you racist piece of shit. And again, notice here how it's all about him. It's all about him. It's me, constantly. Constantly. And as T-Pain pointed out, history will remember the 300,000 plus Americans you killed on your watch and your racist China plague label. Exactly. Exactly. I'll unretweet and retweet that for anyone who's interested. So if you'll go to my Twitter and Facebook and all of that are linked below. If you want to go and check that shit out. Anyway. Nice! Nice easy Monday stream for everyone. Ease you back into the week. This was due to be with Dr. Winters, but she has a head cold. It's a thing that happens, you know. So she tentatively is rebooked for Wednesday. So we'll see, I suppose. Yeah. Oh, pardon me. Oh, yes. I've got nothing to say, frankly. I'm done. I'm spent. I have blown my load. So I'm going to fuck off. Thank you all for listening and watching. If you're on the Twitch, go and subscribe to me on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please take a moment out of your day. It doesn't cost you anything to give me a follow on Twitch. But you can also subscribe to me on Twitch, but that's like a money thing. Doesn't really matter. The Twitch equivalent of a YouTube subscription is called a follow, because they have to be awkward and weird. Yeah, it doesn't take a moment out of your day. Go and do it. Go and do it. It helps the algorithm and all that shit. The links are all below. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. The same time, same place, 7 PM UK time, 2 PM on the East Coast of Americana land. 7 a.m. in Fiji, or just Fiji, yeah. And have a good evening, a good morning, a good afternoon, wherever the fuck you are in the world, and I will see you tomorrow. And though the cowards flinch and traitors sneer, we'll keep the red flag flying here.